Welcome back. Finally, WeArEuS, and this is that newly fallen foot of snow. That sound it makes when you first set foot in it. That sort of rubbery, abrasive, crunching sound. You know it. You love it. It is this Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Now, I've taken care of so much Crusade stuff. I've got, I can't actually zoom out, which would have been nice. I've cleared every single thing that I can actually do. So, the only real threat are the demons' armies still being pumped out by this. Oh, these guys I can't actually beat right now. Not even with my strongest army, which is fine. So I'm just going to leave them there. I took care of another one of the, whatever that demon's name is, who keeps trying to assault Dresden, but he's been dealt with again. Anyway, I acquired a bunch of new relics, had those sorted out. I'm not going to go over them right now because I don't want the intro to be too long. So we are down here at the ravaged longhouse just to see what there is to see, you know? So, yeah, let's go ahead and enter the ravaged longhouse. I don't want to waste too much time buffing, so I'm going to do...
Skip the pleasantries.
Frankly, I don't even use grease anymore, so why am I still using freedom of movement? Aside from the paralyzed resistance. Or immunity. You may notice I'm casting freedom of movement on Regil now. That's because the boots of freedom of movement, that grant freedom of movement for free, are on Ember because she has that item that permanently slows her. I just have to make sure that I keep an eye on the effect at her feet so I can make sure it's still active, because for some reason the effect of the boots actually breaks every so often, and I have to take them off and put them back on for them to continue affecting the wearer. Oh, I also gave Lan the two throwing axes because, like, what else am I going to do with them?
Meditate on your mistakes. Might make you feel better. I welcome your company.
Sela still has that awful club weapon that deals slashing, blunt, and piercing damage all at the same time, which is weird because it grants you no, it does you no, actually, if the target has resistance to, I guess it's okay then. That specific, very, very specific circumstance. Oh, this one. And you. And may as well. We've got a lot of stuff to do down here in the southern area of the world wound, so I don't want to waste too much of our spells. That's why I'm trying to not overdo it.
Together we stand.
Yeah, let's not cast that until we know this is going to end in violence. It's raining blood again.
Godspeed.
I don't think anyone has sea invisibility. Right?
You're a good person. I like you.
Oh, we could summon treants. That would actually...
Should we proceed?
Wait,
Yes?
what? What went here then? If the...
I'm all ears.
Why is it not on his bar? Sort of wish they would actually fix some of this stuff, but
Rules are made to be broken.
what he said. Actually, since we aren't going to be casting a whole lot of spells, we may as well use as many as possible. Which means everyone gets a summon. Actually, let's... See, I can actually use this right now, but for some reason in combat she can't. Which is weird, because it's round based, so I can't cast it beforehand. Anyway. And then Mr. Ed gets a cast as well. Rise, my green army, and thunder across the earth. You know, I was expecting a whole lot more. Didn't we have... Oh, there's some that are doubled up. Whatever. There we go. Much more impressive now that they've spread out.
Let us press on.
Silver ingots. So it just brick walls right there. That's fine. You can hold on to that for me. See, it's times like this I wish I had see invisibility. No one has it though. Yeah, she doesn't have it. The only two that would be her and him. But then when I do get the opportunity to choose it as a spell, there are just others that are more useful immediately. You know? How can I go for something that's a utility that may or may not have value at any given point, rather than something I know is going to be useful in combat, which is going to be happening sooner rather than later. I'd be a fool to go for anything other than that, right? Wait, yeah, there we go. Oh, the inside of the longhouse. Fine, let's do this dance. I don't see anything. It's blood raining harder. Okay. There are 3 checks. Well, we'll go into the well last. But we have to go in. Oh, that's unfortunate. We can't take the treants into the well. Ah, whatever. Everyone else has 6 more, so why not?
Thanks, Lamb. You're so awesome, Lamb. I will guide us.
I have to ask, why does this exist? This is exactly where we started.
Godspeed. A mongrel did it. Thanks.
What was that? Ooh. Yeah. Just gonna... How big is this place? Ooh, yeah, it's expansive, so let's do this.
Smile. The world's not ending just yet.
You require my counsel?
I will help where I can.
I will not falter.
Ah, yes. More of these. Wonderful. Just what I always wanted. A Bodak. Sneaky, unhallowed Bodak. Well, I don't like that.
You've crossed the wrong mountain.
So, which one of these guys is giving off that aura? They all are. Every last one of them. What is it? And do I need to be worried about it? So it's Death Gaze. Save. Difficulty class is charisma based. What? Whatever. At least I know what it is now. Wait, what is this extra damage she was trying to do? That is a lot of undead. Just so many. Whatever.
Retreat is not enough.
What he said. Do we really want to move him into this? Could have had him cast that one spell that I rarely use. Since none of these guys have spell resistance, right? Good. Good. They have fire resistance, but that's irrelevant. Very low reflexes, which means I can use Fireball to clear out some of them. How much HP do they have? While the game calculates how best to maul? No, that's not what I wanted. I could have gone with Chain Lightning as well, but she doesn't get any damage bonuses from that. And now... Oh, great. And... Treants? Please?
Into the fray!
Treants, please. Good, he can get some of them from where he is right now.
You won't survive me.
No, no, he can't. What sort of ripoff is this? The entire idea was to pull her here so she could use her breath attack on the rest of these guys. But, well.
Kneel before me. This one's mine. Press the attack.
Well, that explains why the other ones haven't moved up. Unfortunate. What spell does that... What spell level is that? No. Hold on. Move from here, then cast. Oh, they're going on an adventure. Anyway. Whoa. I have no real desire to cast anything, so... Let's just go ahead and do this. You're alone? Well, is this guy.
Retreat is not an option.
That's right. That should be terrifying right there. This army of green, yeah. Where is he?
No glory without risk!
Alright, let's move this along. The only reason I actually equipped the throwing axes on land is because they actually did damage rivaling the bow he's currently using. Ooh, did need more cold iron. You'll have to forgive me, but I can hardly see. Well, where is he? Already know how we have to start this off. But can we insta-kill him while he's unaware?
Let's have fun.
No. Well, I tried. So, Ivu's will save against the effect of the bracers I gave Morrow, which helped make her hit harder. Is she super, well, not super, but she really low rolled it. Even though, unfortunate. This whole business with the bar, if it turns out to bite us in the butt though, I'm actually going to have to undo it.
The light, take you!
Kneel before me.
Okay. Well, he's dead. Oh, they were all in that room, huh? Yeah, he really didn't stand a chance. Look at the just string of damage. I like it.
Into the fray!
God, I just wish Mr. Ed could hit things.
This one's mine.
The bereft one. Looks like we've got our target. so. First things first, you always get rid of the big bad.
Endure this.
Unless for some odd reason, your hard hitter can't hit them at all. He's only got an armor class of 34. Weird. I mean, I really don't want to cast any spells on them. They aren't that big of a threat.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Press the attack.
Yes, attack my trees. Forget that there are people behind. Actually, he can't even get past them. They're sort of locked into this area, which is all according to plan. I don't understand. Why isn't that hitting more than once? It doesn't have spell armor, and even if it did, her spell penetration is so good. I think she has 25. The first one was a miss. She should hit 3 times with it. The first one was a miss. The second one was a hit. Why is she only attacking twice with it? Unless... Yep, she lost a level.
Make every strike count.
Frankly, I want to get rid of this weapon. Wait. Well, I guess that sort of explains everything, doesn't it? She's missing 9 freaking levels, which means she's what? 4 now? Yeah, I'm not taking the chance. I'm killing these guys.
The light!
Retreat is not an option.
He really just walked into that room, didn't he? Fine. Well, that is certainly annoying. He still has it, but she's missing a lot. Okay.
Oh, the waiting's never fun.
Good, had to make absolutely sure. Yeah, I'm not using that. Regel's fine because he kept rolling out of it. But saving, throwing against it, whatever. You.
He's restless. I wonder why.
Okay, let's see.
Skip the pleasantries.
So, every single heal that I've cast has actually not done the thing that I wanted it to do. Right. Does not remove negative levels? Okay. So, her. Wait, what? He's missing 4 levels. She's missing 5. She's missing 8. None 5. Oh, frick. They should be immune to it now, but That is absolutely obnoxious. Let's get out of here. Wait, hold on. Make sure there's nothing I missed in here. That's where we came in, started the violence. No. No, it's not. That's where we came in. Where does this go, then?
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
So, here we have On the Brink of Death. Whenever the wearer's health is below 50, each attack against the wearer has a chance to reflect dealt damage. The enemy must pass a reflex saving throw of 24 or suffer the attack. Actually, I'd rather, but naturally they can't wear shirts. There's no real use with it on Sela, so let's give it to him. Well, I guess that was worth it. I mean, it's clearly of debatable value, but what can you do? Now, the whole missing levels thing is what really, really irritates me. All told, I guess it was worth it. So the next place we have to head out to is not the Extirpators camp. That's another issue entirely. There's something else on the way to the Extirpators camp, so I'm going to see you guys once we actually get there. And so we have reached the Befouled Barrows. This location is sort of, well, it's effectively to the west of the Extirpators camp. Well, technically it's northwest from it, because you'd have to go up and then to the west, but whatever. So, we're here, and rather than it being an actual location, apparently it's a story. Iridescent streaks appear in the bilious violet sky above the deserted lands. The streaks are not like an ordinary Galarian rainbow. They look more like oil dropped in water. The sweltering haze in the sky seems to waver along the streaks. Time and again, one of the commander's party spots some movement out of the corner of their eye and reaches for their weapon, only to immediately realize they were mistaken. The ground underfoot turns a muddy gray, covered in a dense layer of ash expelled by geysers. Curious natural phenomena, not uncommon in these parts. In the distance, barrows can be seen, apparently only as vague piles of rocks in the haze. The wind whips clouds of ash into the faces of the commander and his party. Along with the ash, the wind ushers in ragged gray clouds that shroud the sky. A giant eye of cloud unblinkingly watches the commander and his party from above. One can only imagine how insignificant the creature struggling across the land must seem from such a height. In a break in the clouds, the white of the sky's eye pulses, ready to burst like a boil. The dark cloud of the pupil grows blacker still. The commander decides to Yeah, we're going with perception. Study the shape of the clouds more closely. Lan observes that in this wind, the ordinary storm clouds cannot coalesce into clear shapes. The air throbs with peril. This is no mere storm. What's brewing is something brought by the abyss, and possible only in the wound. I mean, we can try it. It's literally it only requires a roll of 7, right? That's doable. So let's try to recall any previous mention of such a phenomenon. Unfortunately, Darren failed. He did observe that in this wind, the ordinary yeah. Ooh. That is a healthy difficulty class, isn't it? Well, nothing to it but to try it. And he fails. As the party runs for cover, the black people of the Cloud Eye lose, watching their flight. Something suddenly drops from the sky, landing with a splat at the commander's feet like an overripe fruit. It is white, about the size of a chestnut. It has a dark center, and the longer the commander stares at it, the more it seems like something is staring back. The fruit looks disturbingly like an eyeball. The whirlwind of ash stops the party from looking up to see what is happening in the sky. Perhaps a carrion bird was transporting its already rotting prize home. At least that's what all the companions are hoping as they cluster around the milky white eyeball. A second eyeball lands nearby with an unpleasant squelch, leaving only a bloody splash on the ash-covered ground. 2 eyeballs cannot be a coincidence. The commander does not even need to speak. Without a word, the party wheels around and races towards the barrows that loom black through the ash. The sickening hail pummels them in the back, shoulders, and heads, leaving wet marks on armor and clothing and soaking their hair in sticky slime. The land around the barrows looks more like a dumping ground than a burial ground. The storms have bleached skulls and bones, rusted armor, and dented swords. This is a familiar sight. More surprising are the arms and legs of golems scattered around the waste, the once snarling faces of animals that now lack all resemblance to the living brethren. Things that look like horse carcasses but with broken mechanical legs. Everything is brown with rust and long forgotten. A battle was fought here once. With a veil of ash, the party struggles to find the entrance to the barrow. Naturally, we use Lan's, frankly, really high perception check to hastily feel along the walls. Lan taps on the rock to test its solidity, trying to find a weak point, a crevice, a door. Victory smiles on him. The next strike is answered with a ringing of iron. The ash-darkened piece of metal that covers the entrance crumbles under Lan's attack. The mouth of the barrow is cool and smells of damp and dust. More of the ash lies underfoot, pressed into glossy, slippery crust. It's clear that the barrow has been constructed above a cave system. The deliberately carved-out corridors stretching off into the barrow's depths leave room for natural passageways. The wind wailing through the stalactites in the dark carries a strange sound similar to a desperate human cry. Help me. Help me. The party strains to hear and decides to... Sure, let's go for it. Find out who the voice belongs to. Lan listens intently and concludes that the voice does not belong to any beast or monster he's familiar with. Perhaps it's an illusory sound produced by the air whispering through the stalactites, but it is also possible that there is someone there in the dark, crying out for help. I mean, I wouldn't have come here if I wasn't looking for trouble. Let's go toward the voice. Morrow cannot ignore the cries for help, and the party rushes toward the sound, frequently looking around for enemies or traps. A strange thing, the closer they get to the voice, the less distinct the pleas become, blurring into the grinding screech of a rusty mechanism. The only passage leading further into the barrow finishes in a dead end, a spacious cave, its walls decorated in frescoes that have almost entirely faded over time. Before the companions have a chance to decide whether to look for a door or turn back, the cave floor, which seems solid with well-trodden ash, vibrates and begins to ripple like water. One after another, the commander's companions are sucked into the thick, ashy mass, like they have stepped into quicksand. How about, instead of risking failing an athletics check by rolling a frickin' 1, or nope, you'd have to roll a 2 to succeed, so yeah. Let's go with the perception check. The party needs to assess the situation. The party understands that panicking is pointless. Assessing the situation and formulating a plan of action is much more useful. When they stop struggling, they notice that the quick ash seems to loosen its grip and turn. Below, they can hear strange noises like grinding metal. Could there be a mechanism drawing the quick ash downward? The exit from the cave is still too high up, and now the party only has one route out. Down. I mean, we could go for the athletics, but I want to see what else is here. The Quagmire's resistance vanishes as expected. The commander opens his eyes, sensing that he is in free fall. Through the gloom, he sees a spear sticking out parallel to the ground, and he manages to grab hold of the wood and hang suspended from it. Suddenly, everything jolts into action. Dozens of daggers, saws, swords, and spears spring out from all sides, whistling through the air, but this is no enemy ambush. The weapons are being brandished by pistons and loudly scraping gears of a giant mechanism. The spear that saved the commander was so rusted in its piston that it is no longer able to move. The party has found itself in the heart of a giant metal flower growing up out of the ashy quagmire covering the floor. The Uranag, built by the forges of the abyss, tries to close its petals, crushing, mashing, and cutting its victims to pieces, but years of lying dormant in the darkness have taken their toll. Its articulations move with a soul-shuddering screech and become easily jammed. The mummified bodies of unlucky crusaders can still be seen hanging speared on rusted blades. If the commander wants to avoid their fate, he must figure out what makes the Uranag move. Even a magical mechanism is still a mechanism. From above, the commander has a good view of the Uranag's inner workings. Large toothed wheels are set into motion by gear shafts. It all becomes clear. If the gear shafts can be jammed, the movement will stop. The commander is almost out of time. Another few minutes and it'll all be over. Realizing that a simple escape isn't possible, the commander decides to try jamming the Uranag's main mechanism in the heart of the flower. He looks for something sturdy and finds... well, the tower shield is definitely the one. The commander is almost out of time. We read that part. As she died, the female warrior tried to hide behind her tower shield, but it did not save her. The closing petals pinned her to the shield, forevermore fusing them together as one whole. The commander plants his feet against the shield and pushes, trying to dislodge it, but it doesn't move an inch. So instead he goes for the hammer in the hands of a dead paladin. The body of the paladin, clutching a warhammer in his hands of bone, hangs from one of the Uranag's hammers, pointing directly upward. The commander is lucky that this warrior chose to meet his death with weapon in hand. The commander drags the body toward him and grabs the hammer, but the Servant of Light's grip is surprisingly strong and refuses to relinquish the weapon. The bone arms are easily ripped from the skeleton's shoulders, still holding the hammer. The commander tosses the lot into the heart of the Uranag. The hammer falls, sparking off the gears and getting stuck between them. With a furious screeching and scraping, the Uranog tries to grind up the hammer, but it cannot. A tremor travels up the pedals, and there is a deafening cracking sound, and the Uranog stills. Forever. After carefully extracting themselves from the clutches of the broken Uranog, the commander and his party find themselves up to their knees in ashy sludge once more, but this time it only harmlessly squelches under their feet as they walk. A dark breach yawns before them, and the cry the commander heard at the entrance to the barrow rises up again. Help me. Since there is no other route, the commander decides, can I afford a good check? Because we're really close to leveling. I don't want to get stuck, unable to do anything for Morrow, and then having to take the first worst evil choice that I get. Anything that would be valuable would likely be severely damaged, wouldn't it? We're here for the loot anyway, so let's see if there's anything of value. The commander searches the Crusader's body. What the dead no longer need may prove useful to the living. Fortune smiles on it. The party will be leaving the Uranog's cave richer than it went in. After all its ordeals, the party finally goes up to the surface and emerges in a small chamber. Pipes protrude from numerous openings dotted all over the walls, and they connect to a small box adorned with Baphomet's symbol. The box cries out, producing high, plaintive noises that, when carried through the pipes, begin to sound something like, "Help me." The commander knows that this is just another demonic mechanism created to lure Crusaders into the barrow. He smashes the box, scattering small bolts and gears across the room, and silence reigns. There are no secrets left in this place now. And here we have Fencer's Gift, giving the wearer +3 damage bonus to the second weapon when dual wielding or wielding a two-handed weapon. Hey, what luck! The wearer has the weapon training bonus and is wielding a weapon it gives a bonus to. It's increased by 2. Why the frick not? Alright, he's fatigued. Makes sense. Well, that was an adventure, wasn't it? And the location is no longer available. Knapsack on a tree, not interested. So, I'm not sure whether to continue the video or to end it here, because if we continue, then we might be able to take care of the extirpator's camp, but what if it's a really long one? Oh, right. I need social. Right. Crap. And we have to rest here because this bastion is way too far. Maybe. Okay. What we'll do is this. I'm going to actually call what's his face here now. 2 whole days, huh? Fine. Oh, this is going to be easy. Kill it? Of course not. Probably should have had the general do something, but I tend to forget that she even exists. No. I mean, her traps are garbage. All of her abilities are trash, except for Cure Wounds, which is only passable at best. And even then, only barely. I can use this to... Ooh. Almost messed that up. That's fine. I like how they all focus the clerics for some reason. They're not very durable. Well, they're not as weak as these guys are. These guys should be the main target all the time, but they focus the clerics, so good for me, I guess. Okay, now that that's been taken care of, we're stuck with Socio. That's fun. Anyway. I'm actually going to have everyone rest. No, that's not the way this works. There it is. So I'm going to have everyone rest here because, well...
I just thought if they all in Wintersun just died, they wouldn't have to suffer anymore. And then I thought pain passes eventually, and that's when the strength to live on appears. It's all so complicated.
Everyone will have their own opinion on Wintersun, but I think what matters most is that the people of Wintersun decide for themselves.
You will shut up and you will like it. I decided that they will live on in their little illusion, and that's the way it's going to stay. So now, I'm going to try and get down here without running into any fights, or anyone getting fatigued or exhausted because they're all babies. Alright, and now that we've made it here, this is where we're going to end the video. Tomorrow, we're going to take care of the Extirpators camp, find out what happened to Sociel's brother, get that all sorted out. And once we do, if there's still enough time, we're going to go back to Dresden, speak with the Queen, who is there now, because I spent that much time doing the Crusade stuff off camera, and then we'll go and deal with the Midnight Fane lurking underneath Dresden. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and everything you've seen here, especially the little novel bit. Oh, that was nice, and I'm glad I actually did do it. The gloves while not great, I'm glad I got them. And we are so very close to getting another level. We need about 30,000 XP. And it's level 14 for me. And so with all that said, we will see you next time.
You see